Damn it.
Right, I'm assuming this thing's on. So hello, welcome. This is our second battle report. We're just going to mumble, splutter and generally mess our way through this. But for the first time, here's a bit of commentary. On today's video, I'm joined by Connor to my left,
Hello.
who is flying on your left, busy setting up a load of Y-wings. And Sean on my right,
Hello.
he's going to fly proper ships.
Yeah, and he's going to fly them well.
Well, I don't know. One of the issues we've got with this one is we were all super psyched to play a game of X-Wing and it's going to be great. And then, you know, the second edition announcement came out straight away, so we decided to put our silly hats on and just fly about like monkeys.
Oh yeah, literally we were busy setting up for this game and FFG dropped the 2.0 thing. Obviously coming from a War Machine backdrop, we all fear change.
Yeah.
Because that went well.
That went great.
But no, super excited for 2.0 so far.
Which did make formation flying Y-wings pretty difficult. And we've got Autoblaster turret.
Yeah. So I think first things first, we'll actually talk about the rocks in this video. So my three rocks are the two with the red stars on the right hand side and then the big rock in the centre. I've put them there to try and break up the Y-wings, so the range 1 bands from them will be on a rock, which is where I don't want to be anyway. So my thought process behind them was just to stay out of range 1 of the Y-wings and then punch them really, really, really hard with heavy laser cannon and fire control systems.
And mine was obviously the other rocks. I'd originally tried to create like an area in that bottom segment. But then Sean ended up setting away from it, so it didn't really matter. But the plan there was to swing the Y-wings through those gaps and just sort of trap them in there. Not really give them many options of where to go, and that meant I could hopefully get a few range 1 shots on.
Alright, so using them as blockers to try and hem them in with
Yeah.
your...
Block with one and then
With your
surround with
turrets.
the others.
I've actually played against... I don't think I've played against your Brobots list. But I've played against the Y-wings with very brittle ships and it didn't end well.
Yeah, the IGs, or Brobots, they're a very bizarre list because at the end of the day, you're very middling pilot skill, which is never where you want to be, with only a single firing arc, and you're not massively tough for only having 2 ships.
Yeah.
They've only got 8 health each. They rely on being at range 3 with the auto thrusters and either focus tokens, either through glistening or the action, or evades through IG-88C's ability. Yeah, I should probably talk about that as well.
Yeah.
So the 2 IGs, their main party trick as a list is they share each other's pilot abilities. So IG-88B allows you, if you miss when attacking, you can fire again with an equipped cannon slot. And the aggressor chassis has 2 of those. So I've only taken the 1 this time. I've only taken heavy laser cannon.
The nasty one.
Yeah. And IG-88C, his ability is whenever you boost, you can evade. Perform a free evade, so it allows them to approach quite quickly. As I'm 3 straight in and then boosting. They allow you to get in whilst also having modifications, so you don't die instantly. So yeah, the crux of the aggressors is you want to be able to cycle them in and out, and you want to be able to approach a list at as far range as possible, just so you can gain the benefit of auto thrusters and potentially the range 3 dice bonus, but deny that to your opponents with your heavy laser cannon, or if you're the now current X-Wing world champion, using...
I was just going to say, I can't remember, this was just before.
This
dominated the world.
This was about
wasn't it?
3 days before Simeon Delapina, Rasta's son, decided that, hey, you know, Control IG-88 is potentially a good list. Why don't I just win a little tournament with them, see how well it goes?
Aye.
So yeah, we should probably mention what we actually did this round. So I tried to turn away because I didn't want to joust 2 4-dice attack ships. So I attempted to turn quickly and try and drag him through the rocks, but as Sean said, the IGs fly really quickly. So he just got really close up straight away, and that let him fire on that furthest Y-wing. And obviously the others had started to turn, and Y-wings don't turn well.
No, that's the other thing, is trying to do anything quick with Y-wings is, especially Rebel Y-wings, is never the right call. It's not the right call, but it's something they really do struggle with.
Yeah.
I'd say I actually did roll incredibly stupidly well. three hits, natural hits is fantastic. Allows me to just pummel through shields and acquire the target lock. So it means next turn they're in a fantastically good place for pummeling them.
Yeah, and obviously it's not so bad on arc dodgers who can then dodge away from that IG, but a Y-wing not so well.
You want to fly B-wings, man.
Yeah, just because you love B-wings.
Where I was actually very lucky here was Connor's bank manoeuvre put me literally just within the range 3 band with a boost. If he'd been a millimetre further out, like done anything other than the 1 bank I believe he does, then I probably would have been out of range. Yeah,
but it was just that first 2 shots just let you pummel the first Y-wing and start to get ahead. And then obviously, as I said, trying to turn in to try and drag you through the rocks when you're already pretty much past them meant that at this point the plan sort of fell apart.
That's me remembering IG-88's ability there. Oops, I boosted, I should put the V token down.
Obviously the Y-wing only getting a primary back, which I'm pretty sure he managed to totally evade with auto thrusters and range 3.
The unfortunate thing is range 3 auto thrusters with an evade token, unless I roll all focuses, I'm alright.
Yeah. Especially with Y-wing's primary only being 2 dice.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, you're sort of wagering, like, I would fly this list very differently to you, because I like piling all my ships together, trying to fly in formation, especially if you're flying a big block. But I really like what you do with this list. As I see it, when I've flown against it using aces, it is a big web of range 1 death that you just don't want to get anywhere near it. And I know the first time I ended up on rocks and everything, just trying to get away from it.
Flying it as 1 block is a solid option because it means that if a ship lands near that block, it gets hurt. But again, it means you've got 1 solid range 1 block, which the IG-88s, because although they're large-based ships, they are really manoeuvrable. They've got the boost action and stuff, which can get them out of range. So I was hoping to just try and drag him through the rocks, which would limit his manoeuvrability itself, and then just get a few good shots on him, because the IG-88s aren't that tanky, surprisingly.
No.
Like, they have a lot of defensive upgrades, but the Autoblaster turrets let you do automatic damage, which would hopefully be able to tear through them, but it was just trying to get into the rocks and being able to get out of arc before I started losing Y-wings.
Yeah, another interesting thing about the IGs, I know we've talked about them a lot compared to the Y-wings, but they're actually very surprisingly slow as well. You don't have a 4 straight.
Yeah.
Your fastest straight manoeuvre is a 3, otherwise you have to do like a turn, a K turn, essentially. Yeah. So they can't. The bizarre in that manner that they're fast but slow and tough but fragile.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting list as to how it flies. It does really rely on your opponent making a couple of little mistakes that you can then capitalise on. That's, I think, their biggest advantage.
Yeah.
I've played against them a few times at competitive events now, and there's the case where you make one little mistake and before you know it, they can be anywhere they want to be, and I think that's the IG's big advantage.
And obviously you are flown by the legendary assassin droid, so there's not a lot of red on the dial, like on your hard turns and stuff. So added with the boost, although you aren't fast, you are manoeuvrable.
Yeah.
You're not slowed by gravity and all that. Yeah. Obviously, looking at your positioning there with the Y-wings.
Yeah, let's not mention that.
Yeah. I think this turn and
this turn is sort of one where it starts to go downhill.
Possibly next turn was where he struggled. For my mind, I wonder if sort of slowing it up and just being in front of the IGs wouldn't have been a better option for you there. To get some shots.
In hindsight, I think just charging the IGs would have been the best bet, because he is throwing 8 dice a turn, which is the health of 1 Y-Wing. So theoretically, it is possible to lose 1 Y-Wing a turn in front of him. But also, the IGs only have 4 health, 4 shields.
Yeah.
So hitting them with Autoblaster turrets would definitely chip away, and chances are probably able to kill an IG, losing only 1 or 2 Y-Wings. At that point, it's only 1 4-dice attack, so it's going to take him at least 2 turns to kill a whole Y-Wing.
Yeah.
Which would have then meant just swarming around him and just keep hitting him. So that would have probably been a better plan.
And even if you'd bumped with one of your ships, if he's not getting all the tokens and all the goodness, and maybe he's not shooting at the same ship as the other one.
It was like, as you said, when we've played, it's been run a Y-Wing away that's been damaged. But yeah, starting to bump as well, he had to get through the rocks. That meant that I was very limited in trying to manoeuvre far enough that they were no longer bumping, but also that they weren't then stressed, because the Y-Wings only have a 1 and 2 green.
Yeah.
So when you're limited to doing straights to clear stress, it becomes a lot harder to get the actions in to evade or increase the likelihood of Autoblaster.
And Sean, you had to be smiling right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just 1 dead, which makes the board so much more open for the IGs. Now I've got a spot where the Y-Wings cannot get into range 1.
Yeah.
Like that bottom, that corner up there. I'm pointing at a screen which you can't see. Do it.
But he's right.
Yeah,
it is the right corner he's pointing
I can put the IGs in that corner there now, and they're not in range 1. I can turn about with the blue one. He can bank in, get to a nice position to shoot away. The silver one can either then can K-turn or can't do that. There's a lot of options with them now for getting around.
And you're behind ships that aren't manoeuvrable, that are trying to get in range 1 with a turret, and they're moving away from you.
Yeah.
It's a difficult position to be in.
Oh yeah, I was lucky that how Connor had deployed, which I often... It's one of those things where it is a good position he's put himself in. He's created a lot of options, which I think is always good with X-Wing. You need your options open to win a game. If you commit hard too early, sometimes you can lose if your opponent can then, especially if they're using aces. If they're more manoeuvrable, they can pull away and then put you in a bad position. Whereas if you leave a lot of options open, yes, you lose the firepower that a block of 3, 4 or 5 ships can present, but you're creating, especially with the Autoblaster, no-go zones where I can't put my ships.
Yeah. And it's that net that's how I was flying them at the time.
Yeah.
It was spreading out and just covering a large area in range 1, which, as you start losing Y-Wings, obviously that's less bubbles, so it becomes less effective and more easy to damage. So, like here, I'm having to move just to dodge asteroids and try and get through. It meant that it was already spread thin, and then because you've already killed one and continue to kill more, it becomes harder and harder to try and catch you.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like the smarter Y-Wing.
Yeah, just doing goodbye.
Bye. At this point, because it was already going really poorly, I sort of figured the best option would be just to go quickly through this asteroid field, get round and regroup near Sean's deployment. Therefore, I'm not spending time now trying to turn around and catch him, which, because obviously the IGs aren't fast, I was hoping they wouldn't be able to jet round and catch them still. You were really manoeuvrable, so if I tried to turn now to engage you again, you probably would outmanoeuvre me pretty easily.
Yeah, and then you're running the risk of having to fly over rocks and that to try and surprise them and catch them.
Yeah.
Which, alright, you're a tanky ship, but you cannot really afford to be losing health, especially during your own movement.
So that's why I sort of moved quickly there, doing 3 banks and just trying to get through this asteroid field, get to the other side, regroup and go at him again and try it at a better angle. But I think do you pull hard here?
No.
Yeah. So this one banks in just to maximise that firing arc. I went fast with the other one, mostly because I thought, well, I could turn in or turn round, but because the IGs have this big base, they take up a lot of real estate on the board, so you've got to be super careful as to where you want to put them in a position where you can then still, especially with the version I'm running here, because I don't have anything like advanced sensors, they need their actions. And if I bump in a bad position, that really hammers you 3 or 4 turns down the road.
Yeah.
See, this is why you're the only one of us to make a top 8, because you fly quite smart. I'd have been like, but I want my ship to point at him, and I want to shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
And then next turn, and the turn after, and probably the turn after that, going, God, why am I stuck in all these asteroids?
Yeah.
I mean, also, we do fly the Yankee lists.
Yeah, but
They are not clever bots.
Something as well, I think, important to bring up, like, Connor has bumped a lot. Something a lot of, what I found, especially newer players, when we first started, that was like a be-all and end-all. Oh no, I've bumped, I've lost my action, what do I do?
Yeah.
The more you play, the more you realise, actually, bumping's not bad.
No,
yes, losing your action can be...
It can win you worlds.
Yeah, that's that. You can utilise forcing your opponent to bump into you to
ignore the shot,
to ignore shots, or to deny them actions. But you can also bump your own ships to keep yourself a ship in a position where it can't go.
I think I actually said during this game, I think it was this turn, if the back ship of those top 2 had moved first and bumped into the front one,
I could have stayed exactly
he would have
where
been
I was.
sat in
Perfectly
front of that
range one,
range 1.
I
know you're taking return fire, but with the manoeuvrability of the IGs, they're probably going to be shooting at somebody anyway.
And again, it all comes down to the list. Like, Sean's list doesn't really want to bump unless he needs to for angles or manoeuvres and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the Y-Wings, where your whole thing is, I am tanky, so I'll probably survive longer than needed, the actions aren't as important because you haven't got those repositioning options of barrel roll and boost.
Yeah.
So bumping in order to set you up in a better position isn't a bad strategy with them.
No.
But yeah, I just moved them in the wrong order. I tried to get round and it ended up not catching them again.
I don't know. It's a hard one to call, because as I say, if you'd bumped with that back one, you would have been getting a shot, but it was just one shot.
Yeah. No, but it's auto damage shots.
Yeah. And I think
it is.
More importantly than that, it means there's a position that the blue one cannot be in there now.
Yeah.
Because you are moving first, you are in a position where now I need to figure out where you're going to see where my base can land.
Yeah.
Which is, it's one of those things where you need to anticipate what your opponent's doing anyway, but at this exact moment in time where you're watching now, that doesn't massively matter for me where he's going, because my lanes where I want to go are still wide open.
Yeah.
So yes, I need to think about where he's going for where he'll be in a couple of turns, but at this exact moment in time, where I want to be, I don't need to think about, there could be a Y-wing there, or there could be an asteroid there, or anything like that. There's just...
And it doesn't unfortunately get any easier when both pairings of his ships have asteroids all around them.
Yeah.
I think there, in that situation, I would probably K-turned as many times as I could.
Yeah.
And at least you're pointing in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's it. This is sort of the... I'm going to turn around, I'm going to regroup at Sean's deployment, and then decide where to go from there. Which again was just the singular plan I had. So I was just trying to go quickly to get away so that I was getting shot less. But that ultimately ended up letting you get more range-free shots on, which is exactly what the IGs want. They've got that heavy laser cannon, so it's 4 dice. They're not affected by range.
No.
They've got that fire control system, so it's just going to hurt.
Yeah. I do think, unfortunately, the list matchup was quite heavily against you in this matter.
It definitely was, considering what I ended up trying to do. If I'd have just charged you, it might have went a bit better. But they are terrifying ships, the IGs. It's
Also, a pro tip here: don't block yourself onto rocks.
No, don't. That's
Well,
a
don't
horrific plan.
unintentionally do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like I was saying before, with bigger ships, it can be advantageous because now you can make it so opponents get stuck on the rock with you, which with some, if you're running something like Dash Render or something like that, it's actually quite hilarious because now you just go bye bye and leave them behind. They're facing the wrong way, stuck on a rock. They won't get an action next turn. It just makes your life a lot easier.
You did just say Dash Randar, which I believe triggers Connor.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to talk about second edition Dash Randar because it will take up the entire time of this video.
Well, and we'll go round and round. We've been through this quite a few times, but it is quite funny.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sean loves his Dash Randar.
I love Dash Render. Dash, he's it's such a versatile ship. Everyone I've ran the good old fashioned Lone Wolf with Ray, Burnout Slam, Title, and Heavy Laser Cannon, and it's just consistent.
It's a nice ship to fly as well because you aren't worrying about rocks. You know,
Yeah.
you can barrel off them.
Yep.
You can go straight over them.
Yeah. It's I like to call it my easy mode list because it ignores, especially our pairing with Miranda Donny, it ignores so many of the core rules in the game. Like you only have a certain amount of shields, and if you lose them, you can't get them back. And Miranda ignores that. Dash ignores obviously your obstacles. The whole you need firing arcs to shoot. The list ignores that. There's no such thing as auto damage. I've got bomblet generator, ignores that. That you can only roll 4 dice when firing a harpoon missile. Miranda rolls 5. Things like that. It's one of those really just horrible, awful lists.
Just has all the answers shown.
Yep. Has all the I'm going to cheat and have fun here.
So that's the second Y-wing
Yeah.
dead, which at this point it's not looking good. That one Y-wing there is this is sort of the point where I go, my plans worked better for Sean. Because now there's 2 Y-wings at the top.
Yeah. I like to base all my plans around helping my opponent out as well.
He did take the risk going through the rocks, and as you can see, he positioned it beautifully and landed right between them. So now, because the Y-wing's turning, he can easily turn and catch that Y-wing, which is going to be poor for that. And then the other 2, obviously their plan was to turn around into Sean's deployment zone. So now they have to turn that way, which means at the moment he's finished mopping up that last Y-wing, the other 2 are now pointing at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And jousting with 2 Y-wings is not as
good
cool as 5.
Yeah, it's not as good as jousting with 5.
We seem to be focusing on the fact that you made a couple of unfortunate mistakes. I don't think Sean's made a mistake yet.
No, Sean definitely hasn't.
This is the thing is how you win X-Wing is you both have your lists and someone will make a mistake first.
Yeah.
It can be either the list building, they've brought the wrong list, which unfortunately with Connor here kind of has happened a little bit. It's not a bad list, but
It's a gently fun list.
yeah, a lot of how the list was brought onto the field, the spread things like that. It's not. There's nothing wrong with how he's built the list. The list itself is very good. I've played against it a few times before. The deployment, the deployment works with it, and in certain situations that work really well. However, it's little things like that followed by a couple of little bumps, getting stuck on a rock, and all these little mistakes add up to
a train wreck.
A train wreck where there's no actual coming back from it.
Yeah.
And essentially, I found that's how you win an X-Wing is whoever makes the most mess-ups first and train wrecks first generally loses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, X-Wing is a dice game and variation does happen, but there's so many little...
But this is the thing I really like, because there's a lot of times you can look at it and say, well, this is scissors, paper, stone.
Yeah.
This list is just going to beat this list.
Yeah.
Which is great, but as you say, this is a dice game at the end of the day, and we've all been in a situation where we should win.
Yeah.
And the dice go, nope.
Yeah.
I myself always manage to pull out a loss from an obvious victory.
Yep.
It's usually bad positioning and all, like. But no, I think that's the beauty of X-Wing is you can go into a game assuming you're going to win and get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
And vice versa as well. You can go and go, oh, I've lost this, I haven't got the right positioning, things like that. But I'm going to put my big boy pants on. I'm going to try really, really, really hard. We're going to see what happens. And you can get a couple of lucky blocks in.
Yeah.
You can... there's a podcast I listen to where they use the term "see the matrix," and that sometimes does happen where you will look at your opponent and go, you're going to 2-turn here, he's going to barrel roll that way, you're going to do this, this, and this, and this. If I do a 2-3 forward, you're going to have a horrible day, and it just clicks sometimes, and then your opponent goes, ooh, I didn't see that happening, and
yeah, but sometimes it's the only thing you can see.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
I still need to Google big boy pants, so they sound good.
Yeah. It helps you win.
Okay.
Also, helps you with, if you want to do well at tournaments, take cake. I did that. Give cake to your opponent, then they're disarmed, and then when they're not looking, beat them up.
It did work.
Or if they refuse cake, then obviously you being a nice person, so karma will give you the win. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I think if somebody technically
right.
refuses cake, you're allowed to shout judge and get them removed.
Yeah.
You
You can also, if you eat your opponent's cards beforehand, then shout judge because they've got an illegal list. That does work as well.
but not as tasty.
One, it's not as tasty. Two, the trick is you've got to make sure your opponent doesn't see you do it, because then
they shout judge.
They shout judge.
You can't argue with a mouthful of cards.
Going back to the idea that it does all come down to 6, we did have a second game after this because this one was pretty short.
Yeah.
And that one did end up being a lot closer. I think G's got pretty wounded. You still won in the end, but it was a lot closer.
Whoa, spoilers, I'm watching this.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't draw a conclusion at this point.
Well, you never know. I might decide with the silver one, which has already moved to 3. Next turn, 3 bank onto the rock. The other one might 3 turn onto the other rock. It happens. But yeah, it's...
No, we're joking around, as I say. It was a case of a couple of mistakes that was really difficult to come back from.
Yeah. This was one of the practice lists for regionals as well, wasn't it?
Store championships.
Store champs, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to obviously we're Geordies, if you can probably be able to tell. If you know what that is, it's northeast England, the Newcastle area. This is where we mostly play. For all our FFGs, like sanctioned events, so store champs, regionals, things like that. We go to Beanie Games in Stockton, and genuinely can't shout out enough to them. They are absolutely fantastic as a store.
Incredibly great place to game. If you get the chance to go there, go there. The guys that play there are all legends. You'll probably have seen them all over Facebook, all over everywhere. Yeah.
The regional we actually went to just before we were filming this, we turned up and they gave us a mug and a few of that prizes just to say thank you for coming to our event.
Yeah.
And every time you go, there's £10 store credit as well. So we all picked up some nice fancy little things. I think, did you get some pop figures?
No, I got Armada.
You got your Armada stuff, yeah.
Armada.
And that was a day filthy casual and picked up some Warhammer 40k stuff. So.
Yeah.
Also saw a half-naked Dalton in the snow.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Quite majestic.
It was.
The TO for the event there is on Facebook, the Grand Moff Dalton. Absolutely,
everyone will know.
Yeah, he's the guy who actually runs ProTech Miniatures, who did the spoilers for the conversion kits recently.
Are we getting paid for all these plugs?
I hope so.
I'm just thinking nobody's actually mentioned that Rastamouse has a Patreon. Normally he does on all his videos, so I think we'll throw that out there now.
Yeah, let's just keep throwing plugs in.
Maybe we'll get something free out of this.
It'll
be great.
Is his name of his Patreon actually Rastamouse?
It is,
Is it? That's fantastic. Yeah,
that's Rastamouse Paint. I can't remember. I did actually sign up to it.
Yeah, that's Rasta Mace, the ex-European champion.
All round great guy.
All round absolutely lovely bloke.
Sean talked to him and fangirled.
I super fangirl. I'm not gonna lie. You shouldn't meet people who you sort of similar. I met Brandon Routh as well, the guy who plays the Atom on Arrow, and I was just like, I don't compose myself at all in situations like that. Not in the slightest.
It's alright. I go and hide and then never meet anybody.
But yeah, the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
back to the game. Go on.
Not the plugs.
Yeah.
So Sean's just flooped perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. The IGs, you've got the K-term, but you also have the 3 Segnor's loops, which, as I've done with the blue one there, because I'm now in a position where I can either, depending on what I feel like next turn, charge into the Y-wings and dive behind them like the silver one's now doing. He's got the 4 K-term perfect set for him next turn, or 3 Segnor's loop, depending if I feel risky. Or the blue one can do that, or if the red one takes a lot of damage here, I can just run away with the blue one and just go back straight through the rocks the way I've came, knowing the
Look at
Y-wings.
all them dice. Look at all that paint.
Yeah.
I think this was around where I actually did get a few shots on you.
Yeah.
But you know, they're stressed.
Yeah.
I remember these dice.
Yeah,
Right?
they're stressed. We're going on basic rules, you know,
Yeah.
and the dice just
This
fluffed.
is.
I've never seen anybody roll as many crits during a game and be so upset.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the amount of crits
Yeah.
these dice were rolled for Autoblaster shots.
Yeah. Yeah. If you
It
don't
was
know,
horrific.
if you don't know what Autoblaster turret does, it's a rage ward. You roll 2 dice, but you can't cancel any hit results, which normally is quite good. You've got a 50-50 chance of getting a hit result. Unless you're Connor and you proceed to roll nothing but crits,
Which can be avoided.
which can be avoided, and the IDs just giggle and dance away and then
with
don't
the
die.
3 green dice.
3 green dice
Auto
away to
thrusters.
the auto thrusters. Maniacal laugh.
Sometimes the dice just aren't with you.
Oh yeah. Well, so obviously you've just ran the pure Y-wings here, Connor. And what do you think maybe about putting a couple into a different rebel squadron to cover weaknesses? For example, if you're taking something like an Azatec gunship, which can't K-turn, only has the 180, or a B-wing, which yes, the B-wing can turn around, but it really can't.
Yeah.
You can kind of cover that, create safe zones for them to turn around and get into a better position.
Yeah. I think that is a good plan. And the TLT Y-wings, they're good little point. The Autoblaster turret Y-wings, they are little good point fillers.
Mm-hmm.
So running like a bigger good ship, like a Falcon, I think, with a pair of them is a good plan. But again, this was one of the lists that I was sort of playing around with and always wanted to fly. You know what, it might do alright.
Yeah.
It didn't,
You're
but it
not
might have.
really a rebel player, are you, Connor?
No, I'm not. Started off Imperials.
Yep.
They're great. And then went to Scum and Villainy because bounty hunters. And I've loved flying them. So yeah, this was totally different, flying small base ships that had turrets and stuff, because usually it's Bosk.
Yeah.
I think we've all got a very definite player style.
Yeah.
I'm only just beginning to fly aces and that now.
Which is bad since you've played for nearly 3 years now.
Yeah, but it's been about 2 years of B-Wings.
3 years in the highest pilot like as 2. And
It's,
begins with
it's
blue
the
squadron
reason why I
pilot.
prefer checkers to chess. I
Yeah.
can't think turns ahead.
Yeah.
I can't.
But this is the thing with someone like Soon DFL, you really don't need to be honest. It's fantastic because
You just go, oh, I'm
I'm
here.
just gonna
Now I'm
boost
here.
it. Like
Now I'm
it's
away.
super easy to fly ships like that because you just boost a barrel roll and just not get shot at. It's great.
But my issue was, like, obviously when we were beginning,
Yeah.
I found it a lot easier knowing where I could fly to.
Yeah.
As we said before, bumping and everything sucks.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was moving before people meant that I knew where I could definitely land. You can still sort of guess where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
If you can catch them and bump into your lead ship, you've got all those ships behind them. I just found it played more into my play style.
Yeah.
And B-Wings are quite good at it.
Yeah.
Whereas I just used to crash all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the aces and that, everybody moved. Nobody was where I was expecting them to be, and it doesn't matter how great you are at arc dodging. If you crash into the first ship and everybody else laughs at you and shoots you, you go away.
Yeah. But it's the same with manoeuvres, because I love the free bank. I think it's one of the best manoeuvres there, but you sometimes complain that it's slightly longer than you think, slightly shorter.
Oh, the templates change.
Yeah. The worst for that is the 2 bank. Personally, I think anyway. I've flown R2D2 Corin Hall before, and that 2 bank is either far too short or far too long, and there's never the right size. Which
yeah,
is,
it was definitely tighter the last time I
Yeah.
used it, and
yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's because I keep going in and just twisting the template a bit
Oh,
to modify it.
Sort of for some attack wing ones when no one's looking. It's great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did here is, like I was saying
Oh, that one
before this engagement, is I've put IG88C. That's C. I think it's C behind them.
Sean's realised he doesn't need both of them for this
Yeah,
job now,
yeah,
so one of them's left.
So the one I dived in beforehand, which lost a shield to shooting, that one's now behind in a good position, whilst I can now run away with the other one and kind of keep cycling them back in. Because now there's a IG88 for a Y-wing, which is not a good position to be in, Connor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With hit 3, you've lost 1 shield.
Yeah.
No wonder he's running away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he is.
It's actually not
terrifying.
that one. The one who's lost the shield's the one who's behind him. Going beep beep beep.
Well, we'll call this damage control. He's realised that one of them might actually die, so the other one's just went, nah.
Yeah, this is also something to bear in mind when you play X-Wing as well. Never ever be afraid to run away.
Yeah.
This is something that took me a while to understand, is because also, you've got to chase and
Get a
put
shot
yourself
every
in position to
turn,
get a shot.
keep pummeling.
You super do it. If you're in a bad position, find a board edge where it is safe for you.
Yeah.
Run to that board edge, get yourself turned around, give a turn to compose yourself, see where that's a psychological thing. See, to figure out what you're doing, see what your opponent is doing, and just give yourself a breather.
And obviously, coming from aces and big ships with engine upgrade like Boss, that's what I try to do with the Y-wings. That's why I'm now on your side of the board, not mine.
Yeah.
But obviously, it doesn't work on a Y-wing because you are much slower than an ace or a big ship with boost.
Yeah.
So that was how you're able to easily catch me.
Yeah.
Again, it comes from like, this was an entirely new list that I love the look of, but didn't fly before.
Yeah. Something I'm looking forward to in second edition with these Y-wings is one banks are now blue. Obviously, the blue manoeuvres, they're called blue manoeuvres. They used to be green. They've changed them because
Colour
blindness, which is fantastic. We've got a guy in our gaming group who is red green colourblind.
It was
which
so funny.
Is awkward to play games like this with him because he will show you his dial and go, "Is this red or green?" And you go, "Okay, I now know where you're going." Or things like that. Which so it is fantastic that they've actually now made the game more accessible. So it also will mean for these Y-wings in coming into the new edition, they're going to be a lot more manoeuvrable.
Because you can turn and clear stress, unlike
And
now
more-
where you can do 1 or 2s.
And more aggressive as well.
Yeah.
The thing with Y-wings is that they do struggle with
Life in general.
yeah.
I don't know, your current list contains a Y-wing.
Oh, but that's our Lord and Saviour Horton.
See, this is same before about the big bases. This is where it actually is a big disadvantage, because if you look, Connor and myself both did the exact same manoeuvre. We both did 1 straight, but because I moved twice as fast as him because of my base size, we are now in positions where that IG is now taking a lot of damage because I can't not be at range 1.
Yeah.
Connor figured out there basically that I'm slower than him. I can keep him at range 1 because this next turn he can one bank in, and if I one bank in, I'm still at range 1. I need to turn very quickly towards my board edge to try and not be at range 1, which is not a position you want to be in when you've got an almost full health ship.
And that's why you're not on the Kyrax, or at least its style, because you're an interceptor that can't slow roll, so you can't really stay behind them.
Yeah,
it's my biggest issue with the air-wing as well. I really want to like the air-wing.
Yeah.
But you spend the first half of the game getting behind an opponent and then realise you can't stay there.
Yeah.
You really need that one forward.
Or barrel roll. If I had a barrel roll, you can one turn barrel roll and kind of stay in the same position and rotate or something like that. It's just...
But you're just not able to just
No.
follow.
Yeah.
And really, you need to be behind it because you need those extra rounds of shooting with your tiny little pea shooters to actually make an impact.
This is the thing with A-Wings. If you're a fan of the Star Wars lore, they're the dedicated interceptor of the Rebel Alliance, and they can't really intercept an X-Wing.
Yeah.
No.
They can intercept super well. They can get right in the way, but they can't. You get behind someone, and go and behind someone, then you can't hurt them. and then you have to overshoot them unless they're a TIE fighter, in which case they can just like they're good against TIE fighters, but I don't consider that a good metric in X-Wing because like asteroids are super good against TIE fighters. You get 3 of them for free, so
why spend points on the A-wing?
Yeah.
As I said, the list that I'm currently looking at taking to store champs did actually start off with 3 A-wings.
Yeah.
And slowly evolved to have less and less A-wings, and
Until
now
there
has
was
none.
Yeah.
Also, the A-wing comes in the pack with a B-wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason you
it
got.
should be good.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, well, through osmosis.
Exactly.
You leave something near a B-wing long
Through
enough,
proximity.
gains more health, becomes fantastic. Way, it's great.
They did get better in second edition though.
Yeah.
They did lose Tycho, however.
I know.
He'll come back at some point.
I hope so.
It's
I know they had to gut a lot of the pilots. There was a lot of bloat with a lot of them because, like for example, A-wings. Yeah, you've got about a dozen pilots, except 2 are good.
Yeah.
And one of them is Tycho, and he's really kind of not.
Yeah.
But he's fun. Like
absolutely.
You took Jake. Well, you took either the generics or Jake. There was no, and even then, you very rarely took the generics or Jake.
Yeah.
B-wings. There is Blue Squadron pilot, and if you're feeling really frisky, there's a lot of 10 num going around. Who throws bombs at people, which is, I don't know which madman thought that I know what a B-wing needs to do is to lob bombs at people whilst running headlong at them, but they deserve a medal because it's just amazing.
Sometimes things just work.
Yep.
But yeah, I imagine we'll see Tycho again with some new ability. I don't think it'll be the stress one because they are focusing more on stress being a negative.
Yeah.
But it would make sense at some point to release more pilots while they're releasing old ships. But yeah, so here the IG bumped the Y-wing.
Yep.
What's that? Well, they're both damaged at this point, but I think at the time was the blue one damaged?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was to try and
I think
stop
that was the one who was chasing. Yeah.
It was to stop him from being hit by that shot and let the other one still fire its turret.
Yeah, it's range one thing, and now another disadvantage of the bigger ships is for your tournament gaming. If you are a large based ship, you give up half of your points for scoring purposes.
Yeah.
So now, even though I've still got a 4 health IG-88 with all the gubbins left on them still,
and you flew perfectly, whereas I haven't.
I've now lost 25 points on my list, which it's a fair upgrade for them. They really needed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting little thing to bear in mind for if you are practicing for tournaments or if you are going to one.
Yeah.
That sometimes if you just chip away the big ship, you get points, which is always useful.
It'll be especially big in second edition, where every ship's going to offer you that.
Yeah.
So even if, like, at this point, where anyone would look at the matchup and go, well, it's not going to go well for me, it's still worth pushing in and just trying to do damage to get those few points out of it.
I actually can't remember what I did with the IG here. Silver one, because the problem is I put the silver one in quite a bad position.
We are also recording this long after the game.
Yeah.
This has been weeks, as I say. This dropped when
second.
Yeah,
drop.
when second was announced.
So yeah, it's.
I thought it was free of the travesty of Y-wing flying, but now we're back.
Yeah, what I've managed to do here is I boosted because I need to get out of range 1. Then realised next turn I'm on a rock.
Oh yeah,
there's no way I can not be on a rock. But that does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
You've sometimes you've got to realise that I'll be on the rock at the end of the world. Also, that one bank was a lot longer than I thought it was. I thought it'd be about half a ship base back, so just out of range 1, but still enough something and chuck a cheeky 1 turn in next turn and dive through the rocks. Yeah. But no.
But again, though, it's risk management, isn't it? I mean, next turn there's a risk you'll take a hit from going over a rock versus the risk of taking 2 auto damage that you can't avoid.
Yeah. Also, range 1. If you want to do well, just roll dice roll like that. 4 natural hits. It's all good.
Yeah, that'll do.
It's like
of 2 crits is more commonly known.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry, 2 hits, 2 crits.
They can't be a regional dice.
No, the super aren't.
They work.
Yep. Corset dice are a thing. Just
Use them.
Stick with them forever.
Form that passionate relationship with them.
Yeah.
Sacrifice all the goats.
Yeah. Regional dice, not so much.
No. Doesn't help it's missing a facing of it though, but
Yeah.
on one of the dice, but that's fine. It is variance with this. So you do get like that dice roll there, exceptionally fluky dice rolls at just the right time. But then
another times you just struggle to deal that last few damage to take out that chip and it costs you the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding that at the minute.
Yeah.
You tend to get all or nothing with the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I've been flying Ahsoka quite a lot. Shiva gets nout or 2 crits.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what helps make a good list? There's loads of videos online about this. Like what makes a good list? Like we could probably do one talk about one if people actually want that.
I wouldn't want our advice.
Not one of our lists, obviously. Our lists are a little bit specialist.
But it is dice mitigation. Like what makes this IG list, I wouldn't say better than a control one, but certainly more aggressive than a control one, is you've got the fire control system, so you're always rerolling hits. If you miss, it doesn't matter, you get another shot. You've got Glitterstone, you've still got actions take focus if you need it. You can push through a lot of damage, but still retain your action for defensive modification.
Yeah. Like often it's better to miss with that first shot, get that fire control system's target lock, and then get the second one from IG-88B's pellet ability, and just get more damage through that way.
And if you happen to rob them of all their tokens while doing that, even better.
Exactly.
Oh, look at that.
What you can do is
precision maneuver
is one
and
turn, knock
poor
the rock.
template management.
Yep. Yeah.
That is actually a good way to avoid rocks, is just to knock them away.
Exactly, yeah. This is something I've learned. It's a very British attitude to flying X-Wing. If you knock the rock, then go, oh, I'm sorry, I terribly apologise. I'll just put it back. Your opponent goes, oh no, it's all right, I'll be fine. And then
you're very British opponent.
Yeah, you have to be very, yes, you're very British opponent. Yeah. So if you want to have a cheeky get X-Wing, play against British players and just be incredibly polite, and we'll be inflappably polite back. It's great.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised you didn't deploy all them Y-wings in a queue. Well, like a queue.
Yeah, very oddly queue. I suppose it was 5 very small queues.
Yes.
Then tried to merge into one and just apologise to each other.
That makes more sense. I thought you meant queue was in the letter Q. I was going, I don't understand the reference. But no, if you said like a queue for like the post office or something like that.
I was literally going to say
or a shop, I can get that. Yeah, if they just sit there going, excuse
queue.
me, can I just squeeze past you, please? Oh, sorry.
I think that's
too lowbrow of a joke.
Yeah.
That's why the list crumbled. Was they all tried to merge into one queue and just kept hitting each other, and it was just sorry. But yeah, there goes the 4th Y-wing.
Yep. So
this is the point where Connor goes, yeah, this ain't gonna happen.
What you need is the ability to jump to hyperspace
and just go straight through.
So
I think we end up calling it there.
I think we do call it there. But it's something to bear in mind, is that mistakes do happen and they can cost you the game. But keep playing as long as you can until there's a point of probably no return. Like, might get another couple of damage on the Y-wing, but that's probably that's probably it.
In a tournament, it would be worth still going. I could have swung around, tried to take the shields off that other one, score another 25 points, but
this was just a Tuesday night. It means we can set up the camera again, set up the table again, have another game. Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
So there you go, chaps. That's the end of the first battle report. If you've got any comments, any way we can improve it, please don't tell me to just shut up. We'll take that all on board, and obviously look forward to seeing you in the next one.
And remember, fly Y-wings better than that.
Yep. Don't mess up.
B-wings.
Don't fly B-wings. Don't fly B-wings. They're terrible.
Don't do it.